Imagine if Brandon Cronenberg directed a romantic comedy. Wonder what that would look like. Infinity Pool stars Alexander Skarsgård, Mia Goth, and is directed by Brandon Cronenberg. What's up, guys? It is January. It is 2023, and something weird is happening. We're having a lot of good movies come out in January. I don't understand it. It's very strange, but here we are. It's happening. Infinity Pool is no exception to the rule, but it's definitely a Brandon Cronenberg movie. One observation, Brandon Cronenberg in just 2 movies has quickly risen to like one of my favorite current directors. Does he borrow from his father's playbook quite a bit? Absolutely, as far as like tone and just making you feel very uncomfortable. And I just think that's the type of movies that he likes to make, you know? He has a comfort zone. And Infinity Pool, I think, cements that fact in spades, okay? So anyway, first off, let's give you a quick plot synopsis. This will be a spoiler-free review, and I will say, going into this movie, the less you know, the better. But the basic plot is what you're going to find out in the trailer anyway, okay? And it really fits with the name of the film.
This is just a little game.
But I can take some blood.
Yeah! Alexander Skarsgård plays James. He and his wife, M, played by Cleopatra Coleman. They are on this vacation together. He's a writer, and he, I guess, is suffering from like writer's block. He hasn't written anything in like 6 years. And this couple come up to him, one of them being Mia Goth, who plays Gabby. Gabby seems to be completely smitten with James. You know, she states that she read his book, and you know, she's pretty much trying to woo him throughout the first part of this movie. But much like I Know What You Did Last Summer, there's this accident that happens. James is driving this car with the other 3, you know, the 2 couples. Something happened to him before that made him disoriented, which caused him to have this accident, okay? It was pretty crazy what happened to him. That's all I'm gonna say. But they are in this country where it's kind of an eye for an eye type thing. You know, I've been in some of these Middle Eastern countries before, not saying this is a Middle Eastern country, but it's just one of those countries where if you commit a crime where you take somebody's life, they're going to take your life. And he's in this situation, but luckily there is a get out of jail free card, because if you have money, then you can buy your way out of this situation. But doing that with this movie causes it to go into a science fiction type realm, and you can clone your body and then they can kill that body. And so this movie explores that notion. And do you know that you are gonna wake up on the other side, or is it your clone that's gonna wake up on the other side? You know, all these themes are kind of explored, all right? And that's really as far as I wanna go as far as telling you what happens in this movie, the plot. I kind of want to just take some broad strokes from here on out, okay? What I will say is I really enjoyed this. Now, I'm a big fan of Possessor, okay? And I know a lot of you guys, it was a little bit too weird for you. A lot of you guys are going to say about Infinity Pool, it was a little bit too weird for me, okay? Does this movie get weird? Oh, hell, fuck yeah, it does. But that's pretty much what I'm looking for in a Brandon Cronenberg movie. It wasn't really the plot, although it is very thought-provoking, but I really liked just the zany, almost outlaw type nature of it. You know, you can draw comparisons to quite a few different films with this movie. All the way down to like Natural Born Killers, okay? And you'll know what I'm talking about after you watch the movie. Mia Goth is flat out, jaw-droppingly, insanely talented. Her acting is just so good in this. You know, like she did last year with Pearl and X, especially Pearl. She takes this role by the horns and just goes completely haywire with it. And it's one of those types of roles where an actor, you know, can say, I could go this route with it, or I could go this route with it. You know, there's 10 different, you know, I guess look at it like what an artist would do with a palette. You know, he could choose 10 different shades and go to town. And that's what she does. You know, she is an artist. I could be really upset like I was last year that she wasn't nominated for Pearl, But you know what? Her time's coming. I already know it now. She's so good that eventually she's just going to shine through. She will have to be noticed. There's no turning back eventually. They're going to notice her because she's just so good. But really, guys, she's the best young actress working today that I've seen in a long time. It would be a crime if she doesn't get nominated eventually for the work that she puts in. Will she get nominated for this? Probably not, because it's just so far out there. It's definitely dark horror. And really the only thing that would make this horror is just, I guess, the graphic nature of it. You know, it's got some heavy violence in it. There are elements of like psychological torture in this movie. I wouldn't say physical torture, but I will say the violent scenes are drawn out in some parts. But I mean, have I seen worse? Yeah, absolutely, I've seen worse. But just the crazy, manic nature of the plot is what fits it firmly into what I call psychotic horror. Horror fans are going to love this movie, I think. Not all of them, especially this day and age. Not all of them. There is just almost a divide in the horror community these days. Unlike any other genre of film, horror has this massive divide just in terms of whether you like or dislike. And I saw it with Skinamarink. You know, I love polarizing films. This movie is definitely polarizing, and I'd say 9 times out of 10, I'm on the side that likes polarizing films. Skinamarink was the exception. But that in and of itself fits into the very definition of polarizing. Even those people like me that tend to love them are going to fall on the other side of it from time to time, okay? But I had a feeling about midway through, I was like, yeah, I'm loving this movie. This is my type of film. But you have to have great performances, which you do in this, especially by the 2 leads. Alexander Skarsgård is great in this movie. The plot is just very interesting because you're always asking yourself throughout this, is that a clone or is that the real person? Whether this movie answers it for you, I'm not going to tell you, okay? But it's definitely a ride. It is definitely a ride of a movie. So am I vague? Yes, I'm vague, but I can tell you, I really enjoyed this. Definitely giving it a purchase worthy. So far, Brandon Cronenberg is 2 for 2 for me. And am I looking forward to his next movie? Hell yes, I am. Do I ask a lot of questions to myself? I sure do. Okay. So anyway, guys, let me know in the comments your thoughts on Infinity Pool. I am really looking forward to the comment section of this video, okay? Because it's going to be all over the place, you know, which I like. I like that. I don't like a comment section where everybody is on the exact same page. I like a lot of differing opinions. And boy, is this movie going to have them. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we do Free for Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on all my socials. Support me on Patreon. Buy me a coffee. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Drumdum out.